health beneficial.
Okay. Welcome everyone to today's Lunch and Learn Garden Made Simple with our presenter today, Kim Hyde. Before we get started, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Zan Wesley Home Community Outreach Center, where we create self-sustaining pathways out of poverty through education, job training, and placement. So Zan Wesley Home Center, we offer different classes around financial education. We have a financial wellness village where we teach people how to manage their finances and then create assets. We also have a low voltage program, which is our skills training program, where we teach young people, or anybody for that matter, how to get a job in low voltage, which basically involves a theater, hookup, satellite, cable, that sort of thing. And then we also have partners that offer services in the Zan Wesley Home Community Outreach Center that we have a partnership with here at Fraser House. One is the Oasis Center, where they do ID checks and verification to help people get their ID who may have a hard time getting their driver's license or Social Security. We also have Aspire, which is adult learning and training, and they also offer GED classes. We also have St. Romero of America, where they teach ESL classes. And we also have a partnership with the Senior Source. So we provide education for seniors who want to come in and get some help with anything from learning basic computer skills to computer training, that sort of thing. And so today, again, we have Ms. Kimberly Hyde. And Kim attended the High School for Health Professions located here in Dallas. After receiving her high school diploma, Kimberly went on to attend Dallas Baptist University and Norwood University, where she obtained her Bachelor's of Business Administration degree. She has had the pleasure of spending most of her professional career working with Allstate Insurance Company for 31 years. She also started volunteering for Bonton Farms. Because of her love for farming and being outside, learning about the health benefits of breathing fresh air, getting good vitamin D, and eating various vegetables and fruits, she was able to make life changes. Bonton Farms director was also impressed with her dedication and came to volunteering at the farm, so much so he asked her if she would consider working for the farm. Kimberly hesitated a bit, but went on to join the farm. An opportunity to work for Paul Plan Farm was later presented to Kimberly, of which was the former football field. Kim was excited about taking part and providing members of the Highland Hills community and students with fresh organic produce from the farm so that they too can improve or maintain good health. She has now started a community farm in the community of Joppa, where she grew up. She is presently working to build a farm at the Meadows Foundation, Wilson community. Her motto is she will not stop farming until everyone has garden in their backyard. Again, I present to you Ms. Kimberly Hyde.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I'm here today just really excited about being here, and thank you for having me. I'm going to teach today on here in this Lunch and Learn on how to grow herbs. We're going to talk about several different types of herbs that you can grow in the inside, indoors, or either outdoors. I will also take some time to maybe plant a couple of herbs if we have time for that, and talk about a recipe that you can use with some of the herbs that you grow. Okay, as she said, my name is Kimberly Hyde, and I'm the director of Dr. Mama's Farm. Dr. Mama's Farm is located in the community of Joppa, which is one of the oldest farming towns here in Dallas. Most people know it as Joppy. And the reason why I call my farm Dr. Mama's Farm, because I'm farming on the property of my great grandmother, which was one of the first settlers over in Joppy. And back in the day, we called her Joppy Mama. So that's how Joppy Mama Farm got its name. So today, this morning, we'll start, the first herb that we'll start talking about we're gonna start talking about the herb basil. I'm gonna show you some basil. Basil is a really hardy herb that grows really well throughout the summer as well as fall and a little bit of the winter. You can grow herbs by plant starter or either a seed. And I will show you how to plant some basil in our seed it today. Also, there are 10 types of basil, over 10 types of basil that you can use. One of our popular basils is holy basil. Everybody know about the holy basil, which you can, this is called a holy basil. You can use it to make pesto. You can use it in a salad. You can use it, people like to make tea from it, and etc. There are so many different types of things that you can do with basil. And at the end of this presentation, I will give you some health benefits of using all of the herbs that we talk about today. And now I'll move on to our next herb, which is rosemary. Rosemary is a lot of people are very familiar with the herb rosemary. Rosemary is you can use it as a shrub outside. It's really good for mosquitoes. Very easy to grow, very hardy. You can't even kill rosemary hardly. Even it lasts through the freeze unless it goes under 32 degrees. Basil, you can pull off some stems of basil and sprinkle it on salads. You can use on avocado toast, sprinkle it on your avocado toast. You can use it with vegetables, different types of meat, as well as bread. You can make bread with rosemary, bread with rosemary. Rosemary is very popular. A lot of people use rosemary in their water, and as well as different teas. Okay, we'll move right along to our next herb, which is mint. Many people don't know that there are over 600 types of mint. Over 600 types of mint. The most popular mint is peppermint or spearmint that we are more familiar with. Peppermint or spearmint that we're more familiar with. Mint grows really hardy inside. And it spreads really, it's really spread outside. And right now, this is a season to grow mint throughout the cold season in early fall. Apple mint is the strongest in sweetness. Apple mint has the most sweetness in it than any mint that's out there. And we're all familiar with peppermint, and it's more strong. It has the most flavor. Okay, we'll move into our second. We'll move into our next herb, which is the herb sage. The herb sage is wonderful for Thanksgiving. I know everybody uses sage in their dressing during Thanksgiving, so that's a very familiar herb. It's easily grown inside. It requires a whole lot of sunlight. So when you're growing it inside, it requires lots of sunlight. You can use herbs so many different ways, as well as, like I spoke about, the ways that you can use the mint. You can use it in salads in different ways. And a lot of people use it for meat, like sage chicken. That's very popular as well. Okay, we're moving right along to our next herb. Our next herb is, I don't know how popular this herb is, but it's very popular to me. It's an herb that's called lemongrass. Lemongrass. Lemongrass is easily grown inside as well as outside. But if you're gonna grow lemongrass inside, you gotta have a big spot with a big pot, because it grows really rapidly and it gets really big. And in order to grow lemongrass inside, you just make sure that you have an area where it's very sunny, because it loves sun, but it really grows really big. Lemongrass are used in so many different ways. Most people use it on their meat, on fish, And I use it on my hair. I make a lemongrass spray that I spray on my hair along with rose water. I mix the rose water with lemongrass, and I use it as a spray for my hair. So when I got familiar with lemongrass, it's just really exciting the smell makes your hair smell so good. So most of the time when I'm passing people, they say, "What do you have on your hair?" So it's lemongrass with rose water. So that's a very hardy herb. Yes, I'll give you that recipe. Okay, moving them right along. The next herb that I would like to talk about is our cilantro. I know a lot of people is familiar with cilantro. Very easily grown in the cooler part of the season. It's easy to grow in the house. It grows really fast, but the lifespan of it is short. You can only grow, it only lasts 4 to 6 weeks. And after that, cilantro's gone. So you can grow cilantro with the temperature from 50 and below. From 50, the temperature 50 and below, you can grow cilantro. It's very common in making pico de gallo. So it can be used with rice, making fried rice, stir fry, and I'm gonna demo some pico de gallo at the end of this presentation if I have time. Okay. Let me just tell you what all goes in pico de gallo. So when I get there, okay. So in pico de gallo, there's cilantro, jalapeno peppers, onions, tomatoes, and then you squeeze a little lime, sprinkle a little salt and pepper on your pico, and you have a pico de gallo. Pico de gallo. So it's really, really good. I know a lot of people like pico de gallo. Yes. Okay, so I'm gonna pause right here in the middle, and we've talked about 7 different herbs. And so I have another presenter here with me, Malik Onay. She's gonna talk about the benefits of those herbs that we spoke about, and then I'll come back and we'll plant some herbs.
So we started with basil, huh?
All right.
Introduce yourself. Okay, my name is Malik Onay, and I am working with Ms. Kim at Jobby Mama's Farm, and just trying to make sure that we pass along information to keep people educated on the health benefits, as well as the ease of planting some of these herbs that she's presented already. So we started with basil, right? Okay, so I have just a couple of points to make about basil and its health benefits. So I wrote them down, so I'm looking down, so pardon me if I'm not looking you in the eye right now. Basil, so fresh basil contains vitamin A, vitamin K, iron, manganese, calcium, and other essential oils. And with the different makeups of basil, the things that make up basil, it allows for the muscles and blood vessels to relax, which improves your blood flow. Basil also is known to alleviate anxiety and depression. Basil also increases the ability to think clearly. And it's also said to be known to lower, risk for age-related memory loss. So I think I might need to start adding some more basil into my recipes here, because I'm starting to lose thought sometimes. Fights inflammation is another thing that basil does. It also detoxifies the body, and it prevents and cures cancer, diabetes, and various heart conditions. It's in the past, in ancient times, it was used as a tonic to clear kidney stones as well. So those are a few things that basil can do. Basil, I think you may have already touched on it, Ms. Kim, about where, when, and how you can use it. You can actually, outside of using it in foods that you prepare, and make it tea. So basil is very tea friendly. Rosemary, yes, ma'am.
Is that all basil? Because Kim said there are a number of
Several different types of basil.
So does
So-
that apply to all basil?
Holy basil, sweet basil, yes, ma'am. Those top three basil families that she mentioned, I'm sure, did you? Yep, holy and sweet, those are the main two that we do find here in the States. That is true for both, yes, ma'am. So what was the next one? Are we going in order here?
Well, whatever
Rosemary,
you like.
okay. Rosemary, so we'll touch on rosemary. One of the points that I learned about rosemary that I didn't know is that it's native to the Mediterranean and it is a member of the mint family. So that's something I didn't know that I learned in my research. But rosemary is full of antioxidants. It's an anti-inflammatory and it's an antimicrobial. It is believed also to strengthen the memory and improve brain function. And in ancient times, it was used as a tea to do just that. It stimulates hair growth, it increases circulation, and it may help relieve pain and ease stress. And it also repels certain bugs. So if you have it in your garden somewhere, it'll kind of repel some of those bugs that you don't want there that aren't healthy for your plants. Yeah, mosquitoes. The other thing about rosemary is that it's kind of a natural perk you up kind of thing. So it perks you up. You can, outside of just adding it to your food, you can, again, make a little tincture tea with it and get it that way, get what you need out of it that way. Mint, which rosemary is in the family of, is full of antioxidants, but there's spearmint. Which ones did you touch on? I want to make sure that I'm
There's
covering that.
so many types of mint.
Yeah,
Over 600
peppermint,
types.
spearmint, over 600 types of mint, but the mint leaf itself is full of antioxidants. Vitamin A, vitamin C, and B complex. It's an antibacterial and it improves your immune system. A few other things that specifically mint does is that it may promote brain health. There's a running theme here with these herbs. Healthy mind, healthy body, right? It may promote brain health and helps to treat Alzheimer's symptoms. It treats indigestion. It improves respiratory complaints, like it's very soothing for asthmatics. Oral care, it freshens your breath. So if you just had something with a lot of garlic on it, pop a mint leaf in your mouth and kind of take care of that so you're not offensive to your neighbor. It rejuvenates and gives you stress. So even with the aromatherapy of it, the smell of it is rejuvenating. It aids in weight loss. And in ancient times, it was a skincare treatment for acne and things like that. It can also be used as an allergy treatment. The next herb on the list is sage. Sage you may know as something that you use with poultry and things like that. You may burn it. In ancient times, it's been used to clear a lot of negative energies. However, the leaf of the sage contains camphor and carnosol, and it prevents skin damage. And it also is healing. It accelerates healing when there's wounds. It's antibacterial and it's antifungal. So that's something that you can add to your repertoire if you're looking to do something better with your skin. As we all know, the skin is the largest organ in our bodies, of our bodies. So take care of our skin, we're taking care of a lot of other things too. Lemongrass, which I love, love, love lemongrass. Lemongrass is also called citronella. So yeah, so that's where the term citronella is interchangeable with lemongrass. It's the same thing. It's that stuff you use to keep away the mosquitoes, but it also smells amazing. And kind of piggybacking off of what Ms. Kim said about how she makes the rose water and lemongrass for her hair. The smell, the aromatherapy of it all, it's therapeutic because it uplifts your mood. It's a stress reducer, so to speak. But it's also full of antioxidants that help prevent the dysfunction of cells inside your coronary arteries. So it's heart healthy. It's good for your heart. It's an anti-inflammatory. It prevents tooth decay. And it may help fight cancer and reduce the risks of cancer because it actually causes death to the cancerous cell directly, or it may just improve your immune system so that your body is in a position to fight off the cancer on its own. So it's very helpful in that way. It promotes healthy digestion. In ancient times, I'm speaking of ancient times because all this stuff we have here has been growing forever and ever. We have all we need to heal our bodies right here on earth that grows from the ground. In ancient times, it was used as a diuretic, and it today is still used as a diuretic. It regulates your cholesterol, your blood pressure, and for those of us still going through cycles, it is great for controlling the symptoms of PMS. So that's those are some of the ways that lemongrass is healthy for your body and just for your mind in general. It's again, it's a mood uplifter. Let's see what we have next. Gone through basil, mint, sage, lemongrass, cilantro. Let's talk about some cilantro, which I hope we get to this part because I want to taste it with the pico de gallo. Cilantro. It's native to the Mediterranean. It's said to be like 6,000 years BC. They found it in a cave in Israel. The Spanish word for cilantro is coriander. So if you ever see coriander, they're talking about cilantro. Cilantro is a powerful antimicrobial. It's a detoxification superfood. It reduces symptoms of cognitive diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's. It reduces the risk of heart disease, diabetes, and obesity. It raises energy levels. It promotes healthy hair and skin. It's been used in ancient times for detoxing and cleansing the liver. And we all know that's like the part of our body that makes sure that we're functioning properly anyway. So if you got something that's gonna clean and detox that liver, you got something that's gonna detoxify your body in general. It helps with kidney function, it balances your blood sugar, and it reduces the risk of heart disease. So it's heart healthy, it's liver healthy, it's just body healthy. You can make a water out of it. I don't know if any of you have been familiar with cilantro and lime water, but it's delicious and it's good for you. Just like this recipe Miss Kim is going to make later. Take some fresh cilantro and the rest of these veggies and herbs here that she has, and you got yourself something that tastes good, but is also good for your body. Rosemary, did we touch on rosemary? Rosemary, we did. I've got rosemary just a few points about what it does for you, and then we can move on so that you can make the pico de gallo. So rosemary, again, is native to the Mediterranean, and it's also a member of the mint family. I think I did this one already, so why am I saying it again? You're absolutely right. I said what I needed to say about that. I think I just went faster than I thought I was going. But that's it. Everything that we've discussed here today is definitely good for your body. The main points is that most of them are antibacterial, antifungals. They are good for your heart, your brain, and your skin. So that's it. That's all I got. Okay.
So at this time, we're going to plant some mint. Teach how to plant mint, and then we'll also show you a demonstration on how to plant seeds. And we'll do cilantro seeds. So cilantro seeds are easy to grow. Grows really fast, really rapidly. So let's start. We'll plant the mint. Can I be seen over here? Go ahead. Okay, we're gonna move over here to go with the plant the mint. So these are mints. That's a spearmint. Spearmint. So we get us a nice size pot, depending on if you're gonna plant 1 or 2 plants. And I'm gonna plant 2 plants because I want to make this plant really full, so it can grow mint over the season, during the winter season. So when I'm not outside, or I can get in outside, I can just go to the kitchen area and break off some it. So you can use any kind of potting soil, but I like to use indoors organic potting soil is what I like to use. So we have our pot. So we're gonna mix some potting soil. Okay. We're gonna mix it. We're gonna put as much to the rim here. We're gonna fill the pot to the top. Make sure when you buy a pot, you will buy a pot that's open at the bottom so you can have your water circulate, come out of it, but just be filled with water at all times. So Malik is gonna fill the pot with our potting soil. I think it's
Since we're pouring it, so.
Yeah.
Just to the rim, right?
It's poured to the rim.
Okay.
That's good.
That's good.
So she poured it to the rim. She didn't go all the way to the top because we're gonna take the mint out of the pot where the roots are. So we're gonna open up the roots so that when we put it into the potting soil, it'll get air and it can grow. So we'll just put it to the side, one of these mint plants to the side, up into the soil. And then we'll pack soil around that particular plant. And then we'll do the same for the other side. We'll take the mint out of the pot that is sold in at the store. And we'll open it up at the bottom so the roots can get some air and get into the soil. So we'll put it out on the other side of that particular other mint. And so I would have Malik to fill the pot with additional soil so that it will be soil all the way around. I'm gonna turn it around so we can get it all the way around the pot. And sometimes you're gonna wanna pack your soil because as you water your plants, the soil goes down. So sometimes I pack it in, let's put a little more right there. I pack the soil in the pots. Because as you water, your soil will go down and it'll be. So. Make sure you fill your pot with soil. I usually take off some of the bad parts of the mint that most plants you get in the store, there are always some bad parts you have to remove. So I remove those off. And then when I get to this point, I will put some water on. I don't know if you want to put some water on because it's going to be good, but I'll just bring the water out. The cup. And then after that, you're gonna want to water your plant. And then as you water it every day, it'll start blossoming up, and then you'll be surprised you have a nice mint plant. Yeah, but I'm not gonna water it. Okay. We're gonna move on to planting seeds. We're gonna take a smaller pot, make sure it has a hole in it. We're gonna plant some cilantro seeds. So Malik, you wanna fill it with soil.
To this inner rim again?
Get it to the inner rim, yes. And like I said before, I like to buy organic soil, but it's not necessary. Okay, so you're gonna wanna make sure you fill your pot to the rim. Okay. And what I would do at this point, I guess I should need a plate. I won't do it. But I would pour water into your soil, get it really moist. And then you're gonna want to put your seeds in. And in most seed packages, there are lots of seeds. That don't mean you put the whole package of seeds in one pot. Because you can use maybe 2 or 3 seeds in the pot and have a lovely plant. So I just kind of open up my soil a little bit and I'll just drop 2 or 3 seeds in. And I think sometimes we make a mistake about putting the whole package of seeds in the pot and then just really bunch together, but you just need in a pot this size, you probably need about 3 or 4 seeds. So, my additional seeds back into my package, and then you're gonna put a little salt, more salt on top of it. And then we will water it again, and then we have a cilantro plant that we're waiting to grow. That's good. That's plenty. So she didn't fill it all the way to the top. She just kind of filled it around where we put the seeds. And then you want to water it again. And then in a couple of weeks, you'll have some cilantro sprouting up. Okay. So at this time, I think we will talk about, let's see if anybody have any questions first about our herbs before we do our demo on our cilantro. So is there any questions out there in the audience that you would like to know about our herbs before we move forward on to our demo? Do you have anybody out there in the audience?
Let's see, I have a comment.
Okay.
It says, hi all, this session is timely and urgent for many to know. Many are at work and would like to see this session. Will there be another gardening session, or how can we get a copy of this session to look at again with family members? Thank you for this session. Well, Louisa, if that's how you pronounce your name, and if not, I apologize. We are recording a session, so you will be able to find it on our YouTube channel. And that YouTube channel is ZWHJ-COC, which stands for Zion Wesley Holmes Jr. Community Outreach Center.
And also, we would love to do another session on different gardening things if you guys allow us to.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're definitely open to the possibility.
Okay.
Any other questions? Let's see. Hold on, close it now. Do you recommend plants over seeds for a faster start?
It depends on the plant that you're planting, such as most of the time, like collard greens. A lot of people grow collard greens from transplants because it takes a while for collard greens to sprout. So unless you sprout those seeds early, they're from transplants. Spinach, I love sprouting spinach from seeds because they will take off really fast. And such another thing like cilantro sprouts really fast also. But I recommend, depending on the vegetable or the herbs that you're gonna grow, it's what it depends on if you seed it or if you use transplants.
For the herbs that you talked about today, though, would you recommend starting those from seeds or for the winter? Like now, if we wanted to plant them now, would you recommend seeds or plants?
Okay, I would recommend cilantro from seeds, but I think it's better to start with small transplants for the other ones, such as the lemongrass and even the sage and the basil. I think they do well if you get transplants from like North Haven Garden, Home Depot, Lowe's, those kind of places.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Any more questions?
Yes, can you hear me, ma'am?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you, all of you, so much for hosting this session. It is so critical. It's so relevant. So thank you so much. I missed the herbs because I'm at work. I missed the list of herbs. I did hear coriander, cilantro, pico de gallo. What were the other parts of the list? I'm writing that down so I can share it.
Okay, we talked about basil, rosemary, mint, and sage, and lemongrass.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any more questions?
Yes, also stated that coriander and there was another name for
So, Ms. Carrie,
cilantro and coriander with the same?
Yes, coriander is actually the Spanish term for cilantro. So
Okay.
cilantro, coriander is translated to the word cilantro. So it's the same thing. So when you see coriander, you're seeing cilantro.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions?
We look forward to more of the gardening sessions. Thank you again.
I would like to ask a question with you saying that, if you guys have some particular garden programs or some gardening that you would like for us to present, would you please, maybe put those in your chat and maybe we could, arrange so we can do some of those things.
One of the
The-
things,
Oh, go ahead.
no, go on, go on.
I was just gonna say that you mentioned that mint is a spreader, and yes, I planted some mint in my backyard, and it's like taking up like half of one
Yes.
side of my yard, which I don't mind because I love mint because I use it in tea and salads. But it is, if you don't want grass in one part of your yard, you can always plant some mint because that mint will grow.
That's great. Yes, you can.
And one of the topics that I'm interested in now is preparing for spring garden, because, you know, I had thought about having a fall garden, but I decided against that. But now is the time to start getting ready for the spring garden. So that would be some great tips for you, maybe perhaps for another class. How do we get ready for our spring gardening?
Okay, yes, we can, maybe I'll talk to the people here and see, we'll come back, maybe, I think maybe after the holidays to talk about preparing for spring gardening. Because I usually prepare my spring garden, probably, 1st of February going into March because of the winter. I start, seeding my transplants that I want to plant in the garden during the winter times. I have them inside a greenhouse so that I can put them out in the spring. So we'll try to present that, maybe, after the holiday season. That'd be
Yes.
okay. Yeah.
And that's great information, because this year was the only year that I have planted, you know, in the growing season, because my plants had been late. And I'm wondering how they having all of these wonderful tomatoes and different things, and mine are just now getting started because I was late. So that is one of the things I would definitely like to learn about that.
Okay. We'd love to present that. We had a really hot summer this year. And a lot of people will come by the garden and say, how's your garden so green? Well, I water my garden every day and it was really hot. But when it's really hot, I use plants that's really, that loves to be in the heat. I planted a lot of cantaloupes, watermelons, things like that, squash and stuff. They all love heat. So just to keep my garden going throughout the hot season, I plant things that like heat. And so like now, this is the fall winter season, and things that you plant are root vegetables such as beets, carrots, lettuce, all types of greens. I have mustard greens, collard greens, turnip greens planted now. I have spinach planted, arugula, and also lettuce love cold weather. So I have a varieties of lettuce, and I also have broccoli. There are also other things that you can plant, such as Brussels sprouts. For this season, Brussels sprouts, the reason why I don't plant Brussels sprouts, they take so long to grow. If I plant Brussels sprouts around this time of season, I probably have some Brussels sprouts maybe in February or March. That's kind of a long time to wait on some crops to form for the community. So, but cabbage is really good this time of year too. So things like that are fall winter plants. Like in summertime, I plant a lot of squash, a lot of zucchini. Trying to think. I'm a little older, so I'm thinking okra, tomatoes really in the spring and summer. Eggplant, different varieties of eggplant, peppers. Some people plant peppers in the fall so they can have some winter peppers, but I plant my peppers in summertime. And so those are things that they kind of make it in the spring and fall, but as they allow us to come back, maybe we'll do maybe something quarterly or something so that we can keep our garden session going.
That's good.
And tell your friends that we do this so that they can attend also. And after this, I guess we'll do our little demo for cilantro. Do we have time to do that?
About 45 minutes.
Okay, so got 45 minutes. Okay. Let's bring over I'm gonna get some things. I'm gonna put some gloves on. We're gonna prepare to do a little demo of cilantro. I do a lot of demos on pesto too, because it's very easy to make. And it's really good on salads. So when I'm at the farmer's market, I do some demos for pesto. Okay.
You move the basket over so they can see.
I'm gonna use this one chopping cutting board. Okay, so I gave the ingredients of pico before we started planting. So the ingredients are tomatoes, white onions, jalapenos, the cilantro, and the lime. So you want to cut up your tomatoes. I have these cut, but we're gonna do it here. We got plenty of time, right? Okay, I'm gonna use this as a bowl. Okay. We're gonna cut our tomatoes. I usually cut the ends of my tomatoes off. Some people like to use everything.
I cut mine off too.
Yeah. So we're gonna cut up the tomatoes. So I really kind of like my tomatoes diced, kind of small. So I don't have the best knife here today. This is just a little demo. So if you want to cut them up finer than what I'm cutting them up here. It really doesn't matter what kind of tomatoes you use, whatever's your preference. I like Roma tomatoes. That's the kind I like. And I have some cherry tomatoes also at the farm, and I like to cut the cherry tomatoes. Sometimes I want my I would like my tomatoes to be kind of chunky. I just slice my cherry tomatoes into fours and just put it into my cilantro. Okay, so we're gonna dump our tomatoes in our bowl. Got a little. Okay. Like I said before, some people may like to dice it a little thinner than what I do. I kind of like it chunky a little bit. And so then we're gonna chop our cilantro. The way I like to take, I don't like that much about the stems of the cilantro. That's my preference. I kind of just like the leaves, but most people kind of chop up the leaves along with the stems, so I'll do that.
I have a question while you're doing that.
Okay, sure.
If you'd like to share, could you give us a little background on you and how you left from your job to where you are at the farm and your help in between
Okay,
from the job to now?
I certainly will.
Thank you.
Okay, so we chopped the cilantro. And like I said, I'm a chunky person. I like chunky sauce. I just like my stuff to be kind of chunky, so I chop it as fat as, you chop it as fat as you like, but I like mine kind of chunky. So we're gonna add our cilantro. And I will tell you how I changed my health. I can't do two things at one time. I'm cutting and talking, but I'll tell you as after I finish this. So everybody like to hear my story because I was not born a farmer. And so I'm gonna cut the onion. And I like white onions. You know, there's red onions. Some people use red onions in theirs. Some people use yellow onion. And my preference is white onion. So whatever's your preference, you can use. So I just kind of skin it. And last year I did grow a lot of onions. I grew like 150 pounds of onions. I had white, yellow, and red. So this is not one of my farm onions. I just picked this up because this onion season, I usually plant my onions in January. And by April, May, you have onions everywhere. So I'm gonna dice a little bit of this onion. And I need a toothpick, I guess, huh? My mom used to say, you need a toothpick in your mouth when you're dicing onions. It keeps it from watering your eyes.
A wooden toothpick, I would.
A wooden toothpick.
All my toothpicks.
Oh, you gotta have a wooden toothpick. You know, back in the days, I'm thinking they used to use a straw to the broom. Yeah, yeah, my grandmother, she would use a straw to the broom and just, cause you know, back then they don't have the plastic brooms like they have now. Yeah. And I'm an old grandmother's girl, so. So we're gonna add our onion. Okay, and we're gonna add some jalapeno peppers. So I'm gonna split it down the middle. I take the seeds out because the seeds are extra hot. So we're gonna split it.
What makes it hard.
Yeah, we're gonna split it down the middle, take out the seeds. Let's see if I can get them out. Take the seeds out.
So can I plant those seeds as soon as I take them out?
Okay, so I plant seeds after they dry. But some people say you can just immediately after you take seeds out, you can plant them. A lot of people say that, but I always dry my seeds out. As well as watermelon seeds too. You can plant them. Because the watermelons I had on the farm this year, it was from seeds that we had a watermelon from. So I'm gonna cut this really thin because I like hot stuff. If you don't like it's hot, you don't put as much of your jalapeno into your pico. But I'm a hot person, so I like hot stuff. So I'll just put a lot of. Y'all like hot?
Well, it's not as hot as when we don't put the seasoning.
Oh yeah.
I like fresh jalapeno.
Yep.
I can't eat that stuff out of the jar, I can't.
Oh, this stuff in the jar and cans.
I can't do it.
Okay, so I'm gonna add the jalapenos. The cutting board worked well, didn't it? Okay, and at this point, we're gonna add, let me move that over. We're gonna add some lips, some lime. So I'm gonna roll it a little bit, get it a little soft. No, y'all know that technique, huh? Roll that until I think we'll have it, okay. So I'm gonna split it so I can squeeze this juice. You just want to squeeze this juice all over the ingredients.
You should have bought a nice fat avocado.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Okay. Squeeze it all over. In this case, I'm just gonna use a couple of limes because the limes is kind of small. So I'm gonna squeeze it all over. That smells so good. Okay, we're gonna mix all your ingredients together. You know, sometimes I like adding some bell pepper. But this time I didn't add bell pepper, but you can also add bell pepper. I just want to mix it together. Add a little seasoning, a little pepper. And a little salt. Okay, just a little salt. Okay. Mix it together, and now you have your pico. So you ladies would like to try some pico?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, so right here, I will talk about the way that I got into. About 8 or 9 years ago, maybe 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with diabetes. My whole entire family suffered with diabetes. My grandmother, not my great grandma, my grandmother, she had her leg amputated at an early age because of diabetes. And so all of the years that I knew my grandmother, she left because she always had her crutches or her cane walking on an artificial leg. And my father and mother also suffered with diabetes. My daddy also has some limbs amputated. And I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. They all suffer with the same disease. So when I went to the doctor, he told me I was borderline diabetic, and I started thinking, really? I know my whole family do this, and they all suffered with it. They didn't have a chance to reverse it or take care of it. So when the doctor told me that you are borderline diabetic, so you need to start doing something about it. So when I worked at Allstate Insurance Company in claims, which is a very stressful job. And I was always stressed out trying to keep up with people having wrecks and paid at that moment. and also dealing with young people get jobs and don't stay long. So I kind of managed a few people that that kind of stress. But anyway, as I worked years and years past, my diabetes got worse. And one of my friends who most of the time it was 500, that was out of control. I didn't know what to do. In our campus was like, we had like 5 buildings on our campus at Allstate. In corporate America, if not in your building, somewhere on your campus, somebody's gonna be having a spread or something. They're gonna be having some birthdays, you're gonna be having some cake, you're gonna be having some bad eating. And claim sometimes we did all-nighters. We go work and bring in food, just kind of bad eating habits. And really, when you're working so hard and stressed, you think about what you eat. You just want to get something in your body. You want to eat. So one of my friends found out that I had diabetes, and he lived over at one time. And he said, Kim, you got diabetes. I got a guy friend who just moved in this neighborhood, who just built a garden in his yard. You should come over and see him, so you can learn how to grow stuff. I'm like, okay, I come over. So I actually went over, and I met this guy named Darryl Babcock, who is, he started going to farms. He moved over to the neighborhood to minister to guys who had been incarcerated. And he came over there trying to help these guys. And when he got over there, they said, he said, if there's one thing I can do for you guys, what would it be? All those guys say, help us get jobs. So he said, oh, you know what? I'm a big executive. I can help all you guys get jobs. Come to find out, when he came to this neighborhood, all of these guys, he would get them jobs and they would show up. One guy didn't show up because he said dialysis. And he's like, what in the world's dialysis? I don't know nothing about that. I ain't never heard of that word before. A lot of people up north don't know what dialysis is, So then he said, some guys would say, I just don't feel well today. Found out they had high blood pressure. One of the guys had diabetes. He couldn't see well. He was losing his eyesight. He said, oh, did I over this community and put all these sick people, I'm gonna get sick. He's like, what's going on? So he found out that Bonton was a food desert. When he found out that Bonton was a food desert, he said, I can't believe they allow people to live this way, where they will have access to fresh vegetables. So that's when he started Bonton Farms. So after meeting Darren, I told him one day, when I leave my job, whether I get fired, liquidated, whatever I do, I was gonna come back to see him so I can learn how to garden, because his garden was fabulous. I've never seen a garden like that before. I was like, for real, this is in Bonton? Really, is the garden in Bonton like this? It was just unbelievable. And so these guys would work over there in the daytime, because after he found out that it was a food desert and there wasn't access to fresh fruit and vegetables, he started this garden and started farming. So one day, one of the guys would harvest food, and one of the guys harvesting food and started walking down the street, down Burr Street. And a friend of his said, hey, let me have those greens. He said, send me those greens. And so as he was walking, the code enforcement was coming down the street and seeing him exchange money for those greens to a guy and ticketed him. So that made Darren really angry. He really wanted to start doing something about food insecurity in areas like that are food deserts. So that's when he started the Bonton Farms. So I started coming over and started volunteering and learning how to eat better and learning what to eat. The best thing happened to me, I started breathing good, fresh air every day. Getting good vitamin D. Most of the time what we do is we get sick, we go in the house, we don't come out. I don't feel like coming out. I'm not coming out. I know I watch my parents, my brothers, they get sick. I don't feel like going out. I know it's too hot. But I started breathing good fresh air every day, getting good vitamin D, excuse me. My doctor says, what are you doing? Your blood sugar just all of a sudden changing. What are you doing? I said, well, I'm volunteering at this farm. He said, at a farm? I said, yeah, I'm learning how to grow plants. I'm getting air. I'm outside every day. And I started reading about being outside and getting good vitamin D. It's just doing well for me. He's like, for real, you really doing that? He said, you at a farm? He didn't believe that I was volunteering at a farm, because back then I was a really girly girl. We had to dress up and wear stockings and hair. I would not miss a nail appointment. But now I don't even think about that. I started eating what I grow, started getting good fresh air every day, started just being conscious of what I put in my body, because like I said, I was stressed. I just needed to eat something when I got off from work. I wasn't worried about what it was. You know, I could leave in Los Colinas in that traffic, stressed out all day, driving around down 35 in the traffic, stressed, going home. I just needed to eat something. So I started being conscious of what I put in my body. And so it's been 4.5 years. I'm no longer insulin dependent. I was taking insulin on a sliding scale 3 times a day, depending on what my blood sugar was. And most of the time it was high. So I was taking a lot of insulin. So I kind of changed my whole life by just eating what I grow, being outside, loving what I do, being happy, not stressed out. Stress is a killer.
Yes, it is.
So that's my story on how I became a farmer. And so after I learned all this stuff, you know, I just wanted to take this to where I grew up at, and I grew up in a community of town. So that's my story. So anybody have any questions? But I do have a couple of things I want to give. Any more questions? No. Okay. How many people we have online? 12. 12 people. Okay, so I have some Joppy Mama Farm bags. And I want to give one to the young lady that's here. And I don't know how we could determine on which was the first person to get on Zoom. I would like to get them a bag.
That would be Kim.
Okay. So
Kim
there's a
Martin.
bag for the young lady that's here, Joppy Mama's Farm bag. And then Kim will some way get you your bag. Okay, if there's not any more questions, what time do we have? Are we coming up on 12:03? So we do have about 20 more minutes, so I would love for you guys to ask some questions. I talk kind of fast, you know. Okay, so we're gonna eat some pico on this end, so y'all can put some shit in there.
There's a question. Erica, can you hear me?
Yes,
There's a question online. Kim, do you have a website?
I do have a website. It's jockeymamas.org. And also, Jockey Mama Farms, we have a volunteer day, we call it a community work day every third Saturday of each month. Okay. And we would love for you guys to come out. I don't know if you guys know, November is National Diabetes Awareness Month. And so on the third Saturday of this month, we're gonna have some things going over at the farm where we're gonna have some people taking blood sugar and see some different activities related to diabetes. We're gonna have somebody doing yoga. But just different lots of activities. You should get the opportunity to come by and see us. And we'll be there from 9 to 12. It's every third Saturday of the month, but this month is going to be particularly special because I'm a diabetic and I'm going to celebrate diabetes awareness because one day we're going to get this disease. That's what I'm looking forward to. Okay, November 19th. And so also we have bees located at our farm. And so Malik, Malik is our beekeeper. You want to talk a little bit about our bees since we have some time?
Sure, I'm gonna do that. So again, my name is Malik O'Nay, and I'm the resident beekeeper over at Jockey Mama's Farm. In the spring, we'll be welcoming people to join us for some information sessions. But we've got 2 hives that are doing very well. They've produced quite a bit of honey for us already. We've only had them since April, was it? I got them in April. But we haven't robbed them yet because we need them to have what they need to make it through the winter season. So we're looking to increase their population. And having the bees there on site is not only good for the environment as a whole, but for the farm and for the community because they are pollinators. So that is important work to me. And it's like we're kind of working in tandem here with growing the vegetables and also being able to provide the community with some honey as opposed to sugar. Yes. So we're leaning towards just a healthy lifestyle all around. So I'm the bee lady if you have questions about bees.
And also we're in the 4 Oak Cliff Farmers Market every first Saturday of each month. So if you want to get some things from Jockey Mama's Farm, every first Saturday of each month, there's a farmers market over at 4 Oak Cliff on Ledbetter. Okay, so I thought that I was gonna talk so much that I was gonna run out of time, but I still have time left. So ladies, what would you like for us to do for the rest of our about 15 minutes?
I have a couple of other questions, and that is the address for the farm. Where can they locate you for your?
That's for the 7724 Carbondale Street, Dallas 75216.
Can you repeat that, please?
Yes, ma'am. The address is 7724 Carbondale Street in Dallas 75216.
CARBONDALE.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
We also have some fruit trees at the farm, so we're looking forward to being able to produce a few. We were donated 20 fruit trees, so we got fig trees, apple, peaches, some berries. So we look forward to being able to have some. How's that pico taste?
I'm just thinking, I need to come over and go shopping.
Yes, right now at the farm, I have some butternut squash. And next Saturday, we're gonna be harvesting all our greens. So we're gonna be having them for Thanksgiving. So you come by and get some greens. We have mustard, turnips, and collards. So we're gonna be harvesting. Maybe we'll have some cabbage ready also. So come by.
Did you say every Thursday? at Bonton? Or is it at the Carbondale Street?
Every third Saturday of each month at Carbondale Street at John.
Carbondale, okay, thanks.
Yeah, I used to work at Bonton. I'm now with Jopper Mama's Farm.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I heard you mention about having the bees. Is that something that you can assist potential people that want to have bees and have honey in the backyard? Is that something you can assist with?
Yes, absolutely. That is the goal. We don't want to just keep it to ourselves. We want to spread the love around. So this being our first year having bees on property, it's definitely a learning process for myself, especially because it's my first year actually tending to the bees. But that is the goal, to be able to split the colonies. I'm using bee term talk here, so if you don't understand what I'm saying, let me know, and I promise you I can make it simpler. But split the colonies and be able to provide other community members, other people with nukes, which is like a new habitat, so that you can start a colony of your own in your backyard, in your community garden, at a park, wherever the need is, wherever it is that you're looking to build your community. So that is definitely the goal.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you have fig trees. I had a fig tree in my backyard, but for about 10 years, but it never produced. And so I got another one to put with that. And over that period of time, they never did produce any figs whatsoever. So I cut that one down. And so now I am looking for fig trees. So if you have one over there that I can purchase from you all, that would be great.
Okay. Well, we had ours donated from an organization called Giving Grow. They donated up, but I know that one of my friends also was looking for some fig trees. I think she went to North Haven Garden about some fig trees. Yes. And what you said that they did not produce, that's kind of rare for in this season, in this climate, Texas, that the fig trees don't produce, because this is the climate that they like. And most of the times they just really produce a lot of figs. I grew up in Joplin with figs, so yeah.
We had a fig tree, a mulberry tree, and two pecan trees. We ran out of food, we just ran out of butter.
Yeah, well, the property that we're farming on was my great grandmother's property, and I used to stand in the screen door and watch her harvest our food. I watched her wring a chicken neck. Chicken just go around in circles for a couple of times. She pick them up, she come in and drop in there hot grease, hot water. We had our meal. So yes, that's how I grew up. So it's just exciting to be able to go back there and grow for the community. So I love it. We did have 3 chickens. We had some accidents with our chicken, but our chickens was producing eggs, so we got to start over. But we're working on that also. So anytime you guys would like to come out, you can also volunteer other times. Just make some arrangements. We'll make sure we're there to assist. We're growing. We're just in a year, and we have produced over 1,000 pounds of produce that we provided for the community. So we're excited about that. So don't stop asking questions. Miss Audrey, you got another question?
What is the address of the first Saturday Farmers Market on Ledbetter?
Oh, that I don't know. I just know it's 4 Oak Cliff, FOR. We're gonna get it for you real quick.
Okay, and the next question is, did you say the greens will be for sale at the farm next Saturday?
We would have greens at the farm next Saturday, yes. We're gonna give some away as well as sell some, so. Depending on, if you come later that evening, after, by 12 o'clock, we will be giving them away. We're gonna give to the community as well as other people. It's the time, it's the season of giving.
Okay, and then another question, pesticide-free garden, insecticide-free garden. Question.
Oh, well, I don't know what the question is about pesticides, but I don't use any pesticides. We're organic. We don't use any pesticides, and I use all kinds of things depending on what the issue I'm having with what plant it is. I was having issues with squash bugs last year with squash, and a friend of mine told me I need to get me some ammonia. So I got some ammonia, and I actually had my squash in a grow box. So what I did is I put some ammonia in some little things like this. I actually used some bottles, excuse me, I got over real quick. I cut the bottom of my bottled water off, and I put it inside the box, and I put the ammonia in it. And a few days later, I came back, those squash bugs is gone. They're very hard to get rid of, so I use no pesticides. And even on collard greens, but I know people who grow collard greens know they have problems with caterpillars. And we just got to get rid of those, so we just gotta take them off ourselves. And when you take those off, those kind of the caterpillars or the bugs off of them, if you would, this kind of sound kind of gross, if you would put them in a jar, keep them and put a top on them, and take them and mash them up, add a little water in it, put it in a spray bottle and spray your collards with them, they won't ever come back. They can't stand the smell themselves. So I use things like that, techniques like that. I also use techniques like using what is it called? Cayenne pepper on some things. If you sprinkle cayenne pepper around, you can eliminate some pests coming. So I do organic things that homemade.
They're good for dogs too.
Okay, cayenne pepper. Probably cats too. So I use cayenne pepper too. So I use things like that. So I will have to use any pesticides. Because you know what? In these stores, the produce looks so pretty, doesn't it? So beautiful and lasts so long. Well, fresh organic foods don't last that long. You would come over to the farm and you harvest some stuff. You'll see the lifespan of organic is not as long as stuff in the store. It's because they've sprayed things with pesticides and things that'll make it long lasting. But we don't do that.
Yeah, so even when you see stuff labeled as organic in a store, it's been sprayed.
Some of it is organic and some of it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, some is organic and some things are not. But you can tell the difference of cooking organic greens and greens that are not. It's a big difference. You can tell the taste is different and everything.
So does the fall garden have fewer bugs than the spring garden?
So the winter has fewer bugs. The fall is kind of basically the same a little bit, but like squash bugs, they come. The squash don't thrive in cold weather, so you don't have any squash bugs. But things, you have more bugs in the summer.
Collard green worms and those things, you don't have those in the winter?
Yes, you have those too. I don't know what those bugs, I would say, well, what you why you bring these bugs in your life? especially ants, And so, but those bugs just appear from nowhere, it seem like, where do they come from? I mean, I've been trying to investigate where do those bugs just automatically appear in your garden. I mean, it's like they drop out of the sky. So yeah, in the summertime it's bad, but in the fall it's just bad. But winter it's too cold for them, so they leave. But also you got to keep your plants covered and stuff to keep them from dying out. So most plants will make it 32 and above. So I'm not worried. They said it's gonna be cold this weekend. I really wasn't worried about the cold weather this weekend because cold to me is like 30 and below. So I have all things that likes cold weather planted right this time, so we'll be good. When it gets down below 32, we have to cover.
Okay, so my next question is for somebody who does not garden. Things like lettuce, stuff like that. How do you know when it's ripe and when it's ready to be harvested? Like tomatoes is simple, they turn red. But I mean, for stuff like lettuce, how do you know when it's ripe and ready to be harvested.
So that's a good question. One of the persons on the Zoom asked me what plants to seed. I seed lettuce. So as lettuce come up, it sprouts up. So depending on the type of lettuce, you can tell just by looking at it. Some of the leafy lettuce, you can tell how the leaf is big enough to harvest. You can just harvest it. That's what I do. Even like for spinach, you can get baby spinach or you can have big spinach. So as you harvest it as you like it, you're gonna harvest for yourself. So some people like arugula really small on their salad, but some people like large arugula, really chop it up. So just depending on your preference. And that's a really good, easy grower too, lettuce. Like my daughter, would say, I would love to have a garden, but I don't have a place to have it at. So she lives in an apartment complex. And so she went to Walmart or Home Depot or somewhere, got her some pots, some square pots or something, and made it like a little grow box outside. And she put it on her patio. So she had cabbage and collard greens, lettuce. She had whatever season it is. She had her stuff on her patio. And then if it gets really cold, she just bring it in. She's also put it in pots before, like a pot like this, she'll put some collard greens in it and just grow, and she just harvests off it and then grows them on, but it's just her. But you can do things like that. It's really easy if you're single, or even if you have a couple of people in your family, 2 or 3 people, you can have different ways to grow without having in the ground, without having property, so you can still grow your own food. So let me give you the address to 4 Oak Cliff Farmers Market. It's 907 East Ledbetter Drive. It's over in Oak Cliff. It used to be the old YMCA. People know that lives in Dallas before. The old YMCA. 907 East Ledbetter Drive. It's the 4 Oak Cliff Farmers Market. And I'm sure as we grow and get a little bigger, we may be in some other farmers market. We've just been attending that one since we're kind of small. But we're getting there.
Okay, I have a question. What are the ways that we can donate to you, assist you, help you with the form?
Okay, yes, on our website, we have a donate button. You can send it to Joppy Mama's Farm, our donation. The address is our mailing address is 5119 Petonio Avenue. It's different than our actual address. That's in Dallas, 75241. You can come by the farm and donate. You can call our number. What's our number? 469-844. I'm a little old. I don't remember a lot of things. I have, especially our numbers. If I lose my phone, I'm in trouble. Okay, 469-844-5229. It's Joppy Mama's Farm direct number. Thank you guys so much for the questions and allowing us to be a part of for those on at the Fraser House. When I learned about some of the things, I actually stopped by here last weekend. There's some things that's happening over here, and I'm excited about being a part of it. So thank you for inviting us out. We would love to come back. I thought I talked so much that I was gonna run out of time, but I guess not.
What time is the farmer's market on that first Saturday? Please,
9 to 2.
10 till 2?
9 to 2.
9 to 2, okay, thank you. And then you said the third Thursday is the
Yeah, the community work day. is
9
from
to 12.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You wanna say that? Keep on. I like to involve you on them.
Well, this is Miss Kim's story. This is her baby. I'm just honored to be a part of the journey, and thank you so much for welcoming me in. I just want to say thank you to those of you who are interested in donating, who are interested in helping to work to get this property, this farm, just to make it what it is that her vision is. Like she said we, but she did most of the work. we grew over 1,000 pounds of fruits or vegetables, but vegetables, fruits are coming, but vegetables in this first year for the community. So I think that's an amazing feat. And I'm just honored to be a part of it. Thank you guys for having us. And we're looking forward to doing some more of this kind of thing. Sure.
Thank you so much, and we look forward to you ladies coming back. If you're interested in composting and harvesting with the bees and the next season of farming, please email Audrey Brown or Erica Lloyd so that we can get on the calendar and we can make it happen. Thank you to everybody that has attended and sat in with us during this time. Thank you, Erica. Thank you.
You're-
Kim.
Thank you for joining us. And next time you might want to come in person. You may get to sample something.
All right.
Great job, ladies. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.